Let's end the fantasy once and for all. Perfection is a myth, a seductive lie, and a clever excuse for the weak to avoid real work. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect product, you are wasting the most valuable resource you'll ever possess, your time. The graveyard is full of men and women who died with their dreams locked inside them, paralyzed by the illusion that they weren't ready, that they weren't good enough yet, that someday things would line up just right. That someday never comes. Success belongs to those who understand a simple, brutal truth. The only thing that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is relentless, unapologetic consistency. Every day you are faced with a decision. Will you do the work, or will you invent reasons to stall? The masses train themselves to see obstacles. The successful train themselves to see opportunities for action. The world rewards movement, not hesitation. There is nothing noble about polishing and polishing your ambition until it gleams, only to realize you have never actually moved forward. You don't win by being the best planner in the cemetery. You win by outlasting your doubts, outworking your rivals, and outgrowing the version of yourself that needs everything to be just right before taking a step. This is where most people sabotage their own potential. They believe the lie that every action must be flawless, that every attempt must result in immediate triumph. They are so terrified of failing, so afraid of being judged, that they trade all progress for the empty comfort of inaction. What they call preparation is often just procrastination dressed up in noble clothing. If you wait for perfection, you will never act. If you wait to be fearless, you will never begin. If you wait to be ready, you will die unfulfilled. Listen carefully. Success does not come to those who never make mistakes. It comes to those who never quit. The most powerful advantage you can cultivate is consistency, showing up day after day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what the world says, regardless of how far you have to go. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum is the secret ingredient in every story of greatness. One brick laid every day is worth more than 100 laid in a single frenzy, only to be abandoned the next week. The river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Stop comparing yourself to the perfectionists. Perfectionism is the refuge of the timid and the uncertain. It's easy to convince yourself that you're making progress by endlessly revising your plans. It's harder, but far more effective, to commit to consistent action, no matter how imperfect it feels. The world is not moved by ideas that stay in notebooks or by dreams that live only in your mind. The world is changed by men and women who act, adapt, and keep moving forward. If you truly want to separate yourself from the average, make consistency your obsession. Set a schedule. Honor it like a contract with your own destiny. Show up every day to your craft, your business, your relationships, your health. Don't negotiate with your feelings. Don't let your mood determine your output. The weak allow their emotions to dictate their discipline. The strong use discipline to shape their emotions. Consistency is not glamorous. It will not make headlines or win applause in the short term. But over time, it is the only thing that matters. You must understand the difference between improvement and perfection. Improvement is forward movement fueled by action. Perfection is paralysis fueled by fear. Each day that you take imperfect action, you learn, you adapt, you sharpen your edge. Each day that you hesitate, you grow weaker, more doubtful, more likely to accept mediocrity as your fate. If you want to become unstoppable, you must develop the habit of daily progress. It does not matter if the progress is small. It only matters that it is real. Greatness is not the result of a single, flawless effort. It is the byproduct of 1,000 imperfect steps. When you study the lives of the truly successful, you will not find tales of perfection. You will find stories of resilience, grit, and relentless consistency. They stumbled, they fell, they failed more times than anyone knows. But they did not stop. They kept showing up, and each small victory compounded into massive results. So, reject the urge to make everything perfect before you act. Take the step you can take today. Do not wait for more confidence. Confidence is built through consistent action. Do not wait for certainty. Certainty is a byproduct of experience, and experience is earned by doing. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation grows as you see yourself making progress. The real difference between you and those who have already achieved what you desire is not talent, luck, or even resources. It is the willingness to move forward imperfectly, but relentlessly. What are you refusing to start because it isn't perfect yet? What dream are you denying yourself because you're afraid of making mistakes? Kill that thinking now. The man who succeeds is not the one who does it best from the start, but the one who stays in the arena, taking hits, learning, adapting, and refusing to quit until he wins. There is no greatness in hiding from the struggle. The glory is in showing up when it is hard, when you feel inadequate, when no one is watching. Let your daily actions become your standard. Build rituals that serve your highest goals. The world is full of people who are passionate for a week and then disappear. Be the one who endures. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. The race does not go to the fastest or the most gifted, but to the one who refuses to stop running. Each day that you remain consistent, you separate yourself from the competition. While others wait for ideal conditions, you create momentum. While they overthink, you execute. While they doubt, you build. Consistency transforms you. Every day that you show up, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. The results may be invisible at first. That does not matter. The process is reshaping your mind, your habits, your identity. Eventually, you will look back and marvel at how far you have come, not because you were perfect, but because you refused to stop. Stop waiting. Start acting. Perfection is not required. Consistency is. Choose to be the one who gets things done. Your future depends on what you do today, not what you dream about doing tomorrow. Now is the only time you have. Consistency is the only path that guarantees growth. Take it, own it, and refuse to let go. The rewards are waiting for the relentless. Consistency is the ultimate equalizer. Every person who has ever built greatness, every man or woman who has left a mark on history, every leader who turned vision into reality, they did not rely on luck or accident. They simply showed up over and over until the world could not ignore their presence. You are not denied success because you lack talent. You are denied because you trade daily action for fantasy, because you allow your mind to be seduced by the idea of doing things perfectly instead of actually doing them at all. The world does not pay for plans or good intentions. The world pays for results. Consider the insidious trap of perfectionism. It parades as a virtue, whispering that you must wait, you must edit, you must make everything flawless before you move. But in truth, it is the sworn enemy of progress. Perfectionism tells you to wait for better days, for more resources, for more experience, for applause from the crowd. But life does not reward the man who waits. It rewards the one who moves while others are paralyzed by doubt. The longer you wait, the colder your dreams become. They freeze, then die. If you want to stay alive in the race of achievement, you must keep moving. The act of doing, again and again, is the only way to beat resistance. Consistency is about discipline, and discipline is the trait that separates those who merely wish from those who achieve. When you wake up, your mind will give you 1,000 reasons to delay. It will convince you that today is not the day, that there is no harm in taking it easy, that tomorrow will be better. But tomorrow is a mirage. It does not exist. Your entire future is nothing but a series of todays. Win today and you win your future. Lose today and you forfeit another piece of your potential. The most important work you do is not always spectacular. It is rarely exciting. The grind, the repetition, the mundane rituals, these are the bricks that build your castle. Many people quit because the process is boring. They are addicted to novelty, to the rush of starting something new. But the universe only reveals its treasures to those who are faithful with the small things. Can you show up and do what needs to be done, even when no one is watching? Can you endure the monotony of discipline, knowing that this is the soil where greatness grows? Most people never learn this. They chase inspiration, thinking they need to feel good before they act. This is backward. In reality, action creates inspiration. When you move, when you execute, when you stick to your routines, the energy comes, the momentum builds, and the universe responds. Waiting for the right mood is the excuse of the unsuccessful. Champions act themselves into feeling. They do not feel themselves into acting. This is the secret. To master your emotions, master your habits. Build a structure for your days and let that structure protect you from your moods, your doubts, your fears. Understand this. Each act of consistency is a message to your subconscious mind that you are a person of power and integrity. Every time you do what you said you would do, your confidence grows. You begin to trust yourself. This is the difference between a wanderer and a conqueror. The wanderer lets his whims guide him, drifting from one thing to another, always starting, never finishing. The conqueror picks a course, sets a standard, and holds himself to it no matter what storms come. If you want extraordinary results, embrace the power of small wins. The man who lays one brick each day builds a fortress in time. The one who waits for the right moment ends up with a pile of unused bricks and a mind full of regret. The journey to mastery is not a leap, but a steady march. The only way to win is to keep moving, even when progress is slow, even when you are tired, even when the voice in your head says it's not enough. The process is your friend. The routine is your refuge. The great tragedy is that people underestimate the compound power of consistency. They think a day missed here, a shortcut there, will not matter. But every day you neglect your standard, you train your mind to accept mediocrity. Every time you honor your schedule, even when you don't feel like it, you build an unbreakable will. That will becomes your armor. It shields you from the chaos of the world, from the opinions of the masses, from your own doubts. A man who cannot be counted on to do the small things will never be trusted with the big things. You must kill the need for immediate results. Modern society has trained you to expect overnight success, instant gratification, constant feedback. This is a poison. The most valuable rewards are slow cooked, forged in the fire of persistence. When you show up day after day without visible results, you are building inner power. This power cannot be faked or bought. It is earned, and it is what separates you from the millions who quit at the first sign of struggle. Consistency is also your antidote to fear. Fear thrives in the unknown, in the untried, in the land of endless possibility. But when you are busy moving, acting, executing your plan, fear has nowhere to grow. It is replaced by certainty, the certainty that comes from your own history of action. You do not need to know the entire path to take the next step. You do not need to conquer the whole mountain in a day. You only need to put one foot in front of the other again and again until the summit is behind you. There will always be critics, doubters, and naysayers. They will tell you your pace is too slow, your results too small, your methods too simple. Ignore them. They have never built anything of value. They sit in the stands and watch while you are in the arena, taking the blows, paying the price. They see only the surface. You know the battle within. Let their words fuel your fire, but never allow them to distract you from your rhythm. Your loyalty is to your own progress, not their opinions. Consistency also demands humility. You must be willing to look foolish, to fail in public, to get up and try again when you fall short. The ego hates repetition. It wants attention and applause. But mastery is silent, invisible to the world, made in the hours when no one is watching. The most dangerous trap is to think you have arrived, that you no longer need to do the basics. The moment you stop doing what got you to the top, you begin your decline. The most successful people are not the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who outlasted the rest. When others got bored, distracted, or discouraged, they doubled down on their routines. They became obsessed with their standards. They let discipline rule where emotion would have failed. They found satisfaction in the process, knowing that greatness is not a destination, but a way of being. Let this become your new identity. You are not chasing perfection. You are building consistency. You are not living for applause. You are living for progress. You are not waiting for the right time. You are creating your own momentum, brick by brick, day by day. The results will come, but only if you refuse to break the chain. Build a record of daily wins that is so long, so impressive, that it becomes impossible for you to fail. If you find yourself slipping, do not let guilt or shame stop your momentum. Guilt is a thief that robs you of the present. What matters is not yesterday's performance, but today's commitment. Get back on track immediately. Winners do not punish themselves for mistakes. They return stronger and more determined than before. Your only job is to keep moving forward, to keep honoring your commitment to yourself, to keep laying the bricks of your future. So decide now. Set your standards higher than the world expects and higher than you expect of yourself. Commit to showing up every single day, regardless of your mood, the weather, or the results. Consistency is the master key. It unlocks every door, solves every problem, and crushes every obstacle. Refuse to let your days be ruled by chance or by feeling. Rule them yourself with iron discipline and unwavering resolve. And remember, the world does not reward those who plan to act. It rewards those who act and keep acting until the dream is reality, until the vision is visible, until your name is synonymous with victory. You are not chasing perfection. You are pursuing progress. Make that your obsession, and greatness will be the natural byproduct of your relentless consistency. Stop wasting your life waiting for the ideal conditions. The most destructive lie you have ever believed is the one that tells you greatness begins at some future date, that you will be ready when the stars align and the path is clear. That day will never arrive. The universe is not in the business of preparing the road for you. It is waiting to see if you will move forward regardless of how rough, how uncertain, how intimidating the way may seem. Real power is reserved for the man who acts in spite of imperfection, who advances even when the outcome is uncertain, who keeps going when everything in his mind tells him to stop. Do not underestimate how rare this is. Most men remain ordinary because they are paralyzed by their own hesitation. They worry about what others will think, what the critics will say, what failure will feel like. They seek permission. They wait for approval. And while they wait, their lives shrink. You must abandon this mindset if you ever hope to escape mediocrity. Consistency is not about feeling confident or being perfectly prepared. It is about making a decision and standing by it every single day, whether you feel like it or not. You do not need more motivation. You need more commitment. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes with your mood, the weather, or the opinions of the people around you. Commitment is the steel in your spine that keeps you moving forward when motivation disappears. If you can learn to obey your commitments rather than your moods, you will become unstoppable. There is an old law at play here, one that has shaped the destiny of every man who has ever built something meaningful. The law of momentum. Each time you keep your word to yourself, you add fuel to the engine of your progress. Each time you show up, regardless of your feelings, you multiply your strength. The man who can take consistent action day after day in the face of adversity cannot be defeated for long. Setbacks may come, failure may sting, but he is always moving, always learning, always closing the gap between who he is and who he intends to become. The majority, meanwhile, are still stuck at the starting line, endlessly planning and revising, waiting for a signal that never comes. Do not expect the world to celebrate your discipline. In fact, the world will likely misunderstand it or even resent it. Your consistency will become a mirror in which others see their own lack of follow-through. Do not let their discomfort slow your advance. Weak people despise what they cannot imitate. Do not become addicted to applause or recognition. These things will arrive late, if they arrive at all. Let your reward be the knowledge that you are fulfilling your purpose with each small action, that you are laying the foundation for something unshakable. The applause will come, but you must first become immune to its absence. Consistency requires you to think long-term. It demands that you trade short-term gratification for long-term reward. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are investing in a future that most men will never taste. But there is a price. You must be willing to be misunderstood, to be underestimated, to work in the dark while others party in the light. Those who win big are those who worked when it seemed to make no difference. Your labor is not lost. The compound effect of your daily effort will one day make you seem like a miracle to those who only saw the result and not the process. Banish from your mind the toxic need for validation. Your consistency is not for show. It is for you and your vision alone. The man who requires approval will betray himself at the first sign of criticism. The man who works quietly, relentlessly, regardless of attention, becomes a force that cannot be ignored. Most will never know the discipline you have endured, the battles you have fought, the temptations you have resisted. This is good. Let your actions speak. Let your progress become your argument. You do not need to explain your obsession to anyone. Results are the only language the world understands. You will be tested. The universe will send you distractions, obstacles, disappointments, and even betrayal. Consistency is not maintained by accident. It is defended with vigilance. Guard your routines. Defend your habits. Do not let people, moods, or circumstances break your streak. There is a momentum that builds in the man who refuses to negotiate with himself, who has decided that his goals are non-negotiable. Make your daily disciplines sacred. Make your vision the judge of your actions. If an activity does not move you closer to your goal, eliminate it. Ruthlessly cut away the trivial. The price of mastery is simplicity, devotion to a few things done exceedingly well. Never confuse busyness with progress. The world is full of people who work hard and achieve nothing. They scatter their energy, jumping from task to task, reacting to every demand, addicted to the thrill of checking off items on a to-do list. Consistency is not about doing more. It is about doing the right things again and again. You must know your priorities and refuse to let anything dilute your focus. The power of consistency comes from concentrated effort. A laser cuts through steel not because it is powerful, but because it is focused. Ask yourself every day, are your actions aligned with your deepest priorities, or are you drifting on the tides of distraction? Make your calendar reflect your commitments, not your whims. Plan your days. Protect your hours. Treat your time as the asset it is. Time, once spent, is never recovered. Every wasted minute is a brick removed from the mansion you're trying to build. Value your time the way a jeweler values diamonds. You are constructing a legacy, not passing the hours. You must also learn to embrace boredom. The undisciplined are always chasing excitement, novelty, stimulation. They think if the work is not thrilling, it is not worth doing. This is the mindset of a child. Adults who achieve greatness do so by mastering repetition. It is in the silent, uneventful moments that champions are made. The man who can do what is necessary, regardless of his emotional state, becomes invincible. You must learn to find satisfaction in the act itself, not in the excitement it brings. Boredom is a test, one that you must pass if you wish to reach heights others only dream of. Consistency is not just a discipline, it is an identity. You must see yourself as the type of person who follows through, who honors his word, who finishes what he starts. Every day you keep your commitments, you reinforce this identity. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you erode it. You are always voting for the man you wish to become. With each action, each decision, each small victory or defeat, if you want to transform your life, begin by transforming your self-image. Become the man who cannot be shaken, who is as dependable as the sunrise, whose results are inevitable because his habits are unbreakable. Prepare yourself for plateaus. There will be seasons where progress is invisible, where you seem to be working without reward, where your efforts are met with silence. Most quit during these times. They mistake the absence of immediate results for the absence of progress. But you must see deeper. There is a period of incubation in every breakthrough. The seeds you are planting are taking root, growing beneath the surface. When the harvest comes, it will seem sudden, but you will know it was the fruit of unseen labor. Celebrate the plateaus. They are proof that you are still moving. The world will try to tempt you with shortcuts. The promise of overnight success, quick riches, instant fame. Ignore these distractions. Anything gained without effort is lost without pain. Shortcuts rob you of the character you are meant to build on the way to your destination. Consistency transforms not only your circumstances, but your very nature. It molds you into a person of value, of substance, of integrity. Do not envy those who seem to leap ahead by luck or trickery. They pay a price in the end. Focus on your process. Let your foundation be so deep that nothing can uproot you. You must train yourself to celebrate small wins. Every day that you show up, every time you stick to your routine, every little victory, acknowledge it. Consistency is built not only on willpower, but on positive reinforcement. Let the act of completion become its own reward. Do not wait for grand results to feel proud. Progress is a series of small steps, repeated with faith and intensity. The habit of celebration creates a cycle of momentum that will carry you through discouragement and fatigue. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. The world is full of people who demand respect from others, but show none to themselves. Respect begins with honoring your own word, keeping your own promises, refusing to compromise your standards for comfort or convenience. Each time you choose consistency over laziness, You build a fortress of self-esteem. This is the only approval you truly need. In the end, the habit of consistency will do more for you than any talent, education, or connection. The man who keeps moving, who refuses to be stopped by boredom, adversity, or criticism, is a man destined for victory. Your task is clear. Stop obsessing over perfection. Stop waiting for inspiration. Stop measuring your worth by external results. Build your fortress one brick at a time, day after day, with relentless commitment. When you look back, you will see that greatness was not an event, but a pattern. You earned it not by waiting for the world to change, but by refusing to let anything break your chain of progress. Let others search for magic formulas and secret shortcuts. You know the truth. The greatest magic is the power of consistency. Embrace it, embody it, become it. In a world obsessed with speed and spectacle, become the rarest of all, a person who finishes what he starts, who can be counted on, who moves forward no matter what. And when the rewards finally come, you will know that they are yours not by accident, but by the iron law of daily action. The world will wonder at your strength, but you will know it was built in the silence of discipline, in the quiet power of doing the work no matter what. Success, when traced back to its roots, is not the story of one spectacular moment. It is the tale of 1,000 unremarkable days where the average man would have given up, but the successful man persisted. The secret that the masses never realize is that the universe is not impressed by bursts of perfection. It is moved, shaped, and ultimately conquered by relentless, unglamorous, persistent consistency. While most men wait for their big break, the wise know that each day, each hour, each routine carried out with purpose and discipline is quietly stacking the deck in their favor. They understand that real fortune does not come to those who merely wish for it, or those who make grand declarations about what they will do one day, but to those who move forward without applause, without guarantee, simply because it is what must be done. Examine your own patterns. You will see that your greatest progress always came not from rare moments of inspiration, but from the silent repetition of necessary work. You achieved not because you felt like a champion every day, but because you refused to negotiate with your lesser self. The danger of perfectionism is that it seduces you into believing you must wait for ideal conditions before you act. This is the great deceiver, the thief of decades. In the endless pursuit of the flawless, men lose their youth, their drive, and their hope. They allow dreams to rot in the attic of their minds, comforted by the fantasy that someday the time will be right. That day never comes. Instead, the man who understands the law of consistency builds something real, brick by brick, while others waste their energy polishing plans that never see daylight. Do not let the comfort of planning become a substitute for the discomfort of action. Ideas are only potential power. Action is the trigger that unleashes their force in the world. Perfectionists spend their lives gathering resources, reading one more book, asking for one more opinion, waiting until every detail is resolved. They exhaust themselves chasing shadows, never grasping the substance. Meanwhile, the man who acts, who risks error and embarrassment, learns the real lessons of progress. He stumbles, he adjusts, and he grows stronger. Each imperfect step is an education the dreamer will never possess. The courage to begin, the humility to persist, and the wisdom to endure imperfection, these are the marks of greatness. Consistency does not mean you are always at your best. It means you are always in the game. You keep swinging, even when your arms are tired, even when the results are not what you hoped for, even when the world is not watching. Most men withdraw at the first sign of boredom or resistance. They crave novelty, excitement, drama. But mastery belongs to those who have learned to find fulfillment in routine. The difference between the amateur and the professional is not talent. It is the willingness to embrace monotony. Champions are forged in the crucible of repetition, in the countless hours where nothing remarkable happens except the solidification of habits that eventually yield extraordinary results. There is a certain ruthlessness required for true consistency. You must become the gatekeeper of your time, the protector of your vision. Every invitation, every distraction, every unnecessary obligation is a potential enemy of your progress. Learn to say no. Learn to disappoint people if it means you do not disappoint yourself. The world will always demand more from you than you can give. Your job is not to meet every demand, but to honor your commitments to your future self. If your friends, family, or colleagues cannot understand your dedication, that is their burden to bear, not yours. The dream is yours alone, and so is the responsibility to bring it to life. You must build a system around your life that supports your consistency. Willpower alone is a brittle tool. Even the strongest man will falter if he relies only on self-control. Design your environment so that the right choices become easier. Remove temptations. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose. Automate as much as possible. The man who succeeds is the one who has made success the default option in his daily life. He is not negotiating every morning whether he will act. The decision was made long ago, and now it is simply a matter of following through. Guard against the trap of comparison. In the age of constant exposure to the highlight of others, it is easy to feel as if your own progress is inadequate. Remember, you see only the results, never the years of struggle, the silent battles, the failures that built the foundation. You will be tempted to abandon your pace, to leap ahead, to chase the success of others. Resist this urge. Your journey is not a race. It is a contract between your present self and your future destiny. There is no shortcut. Comparison is poison to consistency, and perfectionism is its twin. Fix your eyes on your own path. Measure yourself only against the man you were yesterday. Mastery of consistency means making peace with imperfection, not because you celebrate mediocrity, but because you understand that progress is messy, non-linear, and full of setbacks. The child who falls 100 times before he walks is never criticized for his failures. He is praised for his persistence. Yet as adults, we demand perfection from ourselves at every stage and punish ourselves for inevitable errors. The wise man is kinder to himself, knowing that excellence is the result of thousands of corrections, not a single flawless performance. Each day you persist. You inch closer to your true potential. And each misstep is merely feedback, a compass pointing you back on course. Another enemy of consistency is the endless pursuit of new strategies. The world seduces you with new systems, new tools, new hacks every day. But you do not need another system. You need more repetition. The man who is always searching for the perfect plan never commits deeply enough to any one path to see real results. Choose your process and stick to it with almost stubborn fidelity. Iterate, improve, but do not abandon what works in the hope of finding magic elsewhere. Progress compounds slowly and then suddenly. Consistency is the fuel that powers this engine. Discipline is not glamorous. The daily grind is rarely inspiring. But the man who persists becomes the master of his fate. While others drift on the tides of circumstance, you will become a force of nature, predictable, relentless, unstoppable. This is not just a path to external achievement. It is the crucible in which character is forged. In the end, the greatest victory is not in what you accomplish, but in who you become along the way. The man who can show up, no matter how he feels, is the man who cannot be defeated. Do not be afraid of slow progress. The journey will take longer than you think. The results will be smaller at first than you imagine, but the accumulation of small wins will one day create an avalanche of success. Nature offers you the example. The river carves the canyon not by force, but by unending persistence. The seed becomes the tree not in a season, but by patiently growing day after day, inch by inch, for years. Adopt the patience of nature. Let time become your ally rather than your adversary. Do not demand instant results. Build with the confidence that your effort is compounding beyond your current perception. The last enemy of consistency is your own mind. Doubt will whisper that you are wasting your time. Fear will tell you that you are moving too slowly, that you are being left behind, that your efforts are in vain. Ignore these voices. They are echoes of a world that rewards distraction, not discipline. Do not trust the emotions that arise in moments of fatigue, disappointment, or uncertainty. Your mind is a servant, not a master. Train it to obey your commitments, not your moods. Revisit your reasons. Remind yourself why you began. Your vision must be so clear that it drowns out all excuses. In time, the results of your discipline will become visible to all. People will marvel at your overnight success. They will not understand that what they are witnessing is the culmination of years of silent effort, of days when you wanted to quit but did not, of moments when no one was watching but you gave your best anyway. Let them be surprised. Let them believe in luck if they must. You will know the truth. That greatness is not accidental, but the inevitable result of relentless consistency. Let your life be the living proof that consistency is the greatest power available to any man. Do not boast. Do not explain. Simply continue. Show the world, by your results, what is possible for the man who refuses to stop. Let others debate the finer points of strategy and theory. You will have the ultimate argument, visible, undeniable achievement. Every day that you persist, you are rewriting your destiny, stacking the odds in your favor, and drawing ever closer to the life you desire. Stand guard over your discipline. Treat it as your most sacred asset. Protect it from doubt, from distraction, from the poison of comparison and the illusion of perfection. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is not in talent, nor luck, nor circumstance. It is in the decision to show up again and again, when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, and when no one would blame you for quitting. Consistency is the true mark of greatness. Make it the standard by which you live. And as the years unfold, you will discover that the world cannot deny what a single, resolute man can achieve, one disciplined day at a time. If you wish to understand why your life does not change, why goals fade and ambitions evaporate, examine the structure of your daily existence. Most people labor under the illusion that breakthroughs come from massive action or the luck of timing. In truth, the tectonic plates of destiny shift with the slow, silent grind of habit. Perfection, with its gleaming promise, is the enemy of progress. Consistency, humble and persistent, is its architect. Every excuse to wait until the moment is right, every hesitation born of fear that you will not get it perfect on the first attempt, is a prison. You must decide. Will you be ruled by the fantasy of flawlessness, or will you embrace the power of steady, compounding effort? The man who conquers himself is the man who conquers the world. To do this, you must kill the belief that success requires extraordinary conditions or rare opportunities. More often than not, it is the man who learns to work within imperfect, ordinary circumstances who wins. Most people treat their goals as guests. They entertain them when it is convenient, offer them a seat at the table only when the house is spotless and the sun is shining. They postpone their dreams until their confidence, their mood, their circumstances, and even the weather cooperate. This is the folly of those who wait for perfection. The master knows the truth. Progress does not wait for a flawless invitation. It arrives for the man who opens the door every day without ceremony and gets to work. Understand this law. You do not have to feel motivated to take action. In fact, the most significant changes happen when you act despite fatigue, boredom, frustration, or discouragement. Your mood is not your master. Every day that you override your fleeting emotions, you are training your mind to serve your goals, not sabotage them. This discipline is the core of consistency. It is not about grinding yourself into exhaustion, but about honoring a commitment that is bigger than your comfort. On the days when you would rather do anything but your essential work, that is when you must press forward. The habit of showing up, even imperfectly, is the seed from which all greatness grows. You will encounter obstacles, some external, most internal. Life will tempt you with the urgent and the trivial. Small distractions will masquerade as priorities, pulling your focus from the unglamorous, foundational work that moves you forward. The world is loud with interruptions. Your own mind is a cunning saboteur, inventing reasons to postpone, to revise, to perfect endlessly rather than finish. Your task is to ignore this noise and simplify your focus. Consistency thrives in clarity. Define what truly matters and create rituals that protect your priorities from intrusion. Make your actions automatic. Eliminate choice where choice breeds delay. Perfectionism, disguised as high standards, is often nothing more than the fear of being seen as less than exceptional. Many people would rather not try at all than risk being average, making mistakes, or falling short. This is the root of procrastination and the silent killer of dreams. You must kill the need for external approval. Do not wait for applause or validation. Do not make your progress dependent on the opinions of others, for their standards are fickle and their attention fleeting. The measure that matters is your own. Did you show up? Did you honor your commitment, regardless of the result? If yes, you are already winning. Consistent action is the ultimate force multiplier. One drop of water will not cut through stone, but a steady stream, day after day, carves canyons. The world is full of people who are almost great, those who leap ahead in sprints, dazzle with brief brilliance, but lack the persistence to see things through. They burn out, move on, or reinvent themselves endlessly, chasing a feeling rather than building a legacy. The men and women who leave their mark on history are those who master monotony, who do the small things well, over and over, until those small things transform into something magnificent. Let your reputation be built not on occasional displays of excellence, but on the reliability of your effort. Be the person whose work ethic is so predictable, so relentless, that others begin to count on you without question. This is how you become indispensable, not by bursts of inspiration, but by the quiet force of dependability. Over time, consistency creates a gravity that draws opportunity, trust, and admiration. People respect the one who shows up, rain or shine, tired or energized, inspired or uninspired, because he can be counted on when it matters most. Your discipline must become non-negotiable. This is not about inflexible routines or robotic existence. Rather, it is about recognizing that your commitments to yourself are sacred. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you are training your subconscious mind to doubt your resolve. You erode self-trust. Conversely, every time you act in alignment with your declared priorities, even in small ways, you fortify your self-belief. This internal integrity is the wellspring of confidence. When you know that you can rely on yourself, you no longer crave validation from others. Your certainty becomes unshakable. It is easy to be swept away by the romance of a new beginning or the energy of a rare accomplishment. The true test is found in what you do when the novelty fades and no one is watching. Consistency means you keep your promises in private, not just in public. You repeat the essential disciplines until they become identity, not effort. Over time, the world will notice. Those who once ignored you will wonder how you suddenly became so skilled, so wealthy, so influential. There is no secret. You simply persisted when others quit. You ignored the lure of perfection and became the master of progress. Beware of your own mind's games. It will tell you that you can skip a day, that you can double your efforts tomorrow, that you can start again next week. These are lies. The habit of delay is cumulative. Every day you permit yourself to break your routine, you reinforce the habit of inconsistency. The man who never misses twice is the man who builds an unbreakable chain. Make your standards so clear, your rituals so automatic, that deviation feels unnatural. If you slip, correct immediately, not with punishment, but with swift return to your path. Forgive yourself, but do not excuse yourself. There is a profound satisfaction in the knowledge that you are becoming the kind of person who does what he says every time, no matter what. Over time, this builds a reputation, not just in the eyes of others, but in your own heart. You trust your own word. You respect your own boundaries. This is the ultimate freedom, for when you rule yourself, you cannot be ruled by others. You become immune to criticism, to envy, to the passing trends of the day. Your identity is rooted in your actions, not your feelings or circumstances. Consistency does not mean sameness. Life will shift, responsibilities will grow, and the path will wind in ways you cannot predict. The key is to adapt your rituals, not abandon them. Be flexible in your methods, but relentless in your mission. When you face setbacks, do not seek permission to begin again. Simply return to your rhythm. Let each obstacle become fuel for your resolve, not a reason to retreat. You are not defined by what disrupts you, but by how quickly you recover and resume. Remember, the world does not reward perfection. It rewards finished work. An imperfect effort completed is infinitely more valuable than a perfect effort never begun. If you wait until you are ready, until every variable is under your control, you will spend your life preparing and never progressing. Action exposes you to feedback, to growth, to opportunity. The graveyard of dreams is filled with those who waited for the perfect moment. The champions are those who moved ahead, unfinished and unprepared, but willing to learn on the way. Above all, be patient with the process. The results of consistency often lag far behind the effort. There will be weeks, months, or even years where it seems as if nothing is changing. Trust the compound effect. Tiny improvements, repeated without interruption, are the only way anything monumental is ever built. The overnight success is a myth, the product of a decade's persistence suddenly revealed to the world. Let others chase shortcuts. You build substance. Stop worshiping complexity. The simpler your process, the easier it is to repeat. Simplicity is not laziness, it is sophistication. The more moving parts, the more likely you are to break your streak. Ruthlessly eliminate anything that does not move you toward your purpose. You do not need more tools, more strategies, more options. You need fewer distractions and a deeper commitment to what matters most. In a world addicted to noise, your silence and focus will become your greatest competitive advantage. At the end of your life, you will not wish you had waited longer, planned more, or tried to be perfect. You will wish you had started sooner, persisted longer, and cared less about the opinions of those who never walked your path. The cost of inconsistency is invisible until it becomes unbearable. The reward of consistency is slow, but it is the only guarantee of a legacy. Make your days count, not with grand gestures, but with relentless repetition. Honor your word. Embrace the dull moments, the setbacks, the slow seasons, for they are the crucible of greatness. When others quit, keep going. When perfection seduces you, return to action. Trust that the man who never stops, who values movement over mastery, cannot help but outlast and outperform everyone else. This is the path of champions. This is the path for you. Consistency is the most undervalued asset of every man who ever walked the path to greatness. It is not glamour, not intellect, not talent, and not the applause of others that builds fortunes, carves out influence, and sculpts a legacy that stands long after you are gone. It is the simple act of refusing to quit. Too many men waste years trying to become perfect in the eyes of the world, polishing their plans and waiting for the stars to align, only to realize too late that the prize always goes to the one who shows up again and again, while the dreamers, thinkers, and perfectionists drift quietly into the background. Life is not a talent contest. It is a test of endurance. If you make consistency your highest value, you will become a force that cannot be ignored. Take a long, hard look at your days. What do you repeat? The rituals you allow, the stories you tell, the rules you obey when no one is watching, these shape your destiny more than inspiration, motivation, or even skill. Consistency is not about routine for its own sake. It is about forging the habits that will make your results inevitable. Every choice, every action, every hour spent according to a plan rather than a feeling is a vote for the person you are becoming. Most men are slaves to mood. Their productivity rises and falls with their emotions, with the weather, with the news. This is the path of mediocrity. The man who rises above his moods, who honors his commitment on good days and bad, is the man the world cannot stop. You must set your intention like stone. If you are truly committed to your goal, it becomes non-negotiable. There will always be a reason to quit, a bad night's sleep, a family obligation, a crisis, a lost opportunity, 1,000 tiny defeats that chip away at your spirit. What matters is that you return, that you forgive yourself for falling, but refuse to make excuses for not rising again. The difference between success and failure in the final calculation is not brilliance, luck, or the absence of setbacks. It is the number of times you get back up, the days you show up anyway, the days when you do what must be done, even if it is boring, uncomfortable, or unseen. Consistency is not sexy, but it is undefeated. Many people will misunderstand you. They will mock your discipline, call your routines obsessive, say you should relax, take it easy, loosen your grip. They are the same voices that fade into obscurity, whose only proof that they were ever here is the echo of their complaints. Let their opinions bounce off you. Their lives are their own testimony. Do not let them infect your spirit with their doubts. When you encounter criticism for your devotion, smile quietly to yourself. You are on the path few are willing to walk, the path where the rewards are hidden from the lazy, the impatient, the easily distracted. Guard your energy. Consistency is not the same as grinding yourself into exhaustion. It is about doing what matters most every day with relentless focus and intensity, and refusing to dilute your efforts with the unnecessary. The world will hand you 1,000 tasks. Most do not deserve your attention. Prioritize. Protect your mornings, your evenings, your deep work hours. Say no so often that your yes becomes sacred. The more you simplify, the more you amplify your results. Life does not reward the man who does everything. It rewards the man who does the right things over and over, until the compound effect becomes undeniable. Let go of the myth of balance if it means trying to keep all plates spinning at the same speed. Life moves in seasons. There will be times when you must pour everything into your mission and let other areas of life sit quietly on the shelf. There will be times when you must recover, regroup, and rest. Consistency is about the long game, the sum of your focus over years, not days. As long as you keep returning to your path, as long as you refuse to let temporary setbacks become permanent defeat, you are still in the fight. There is no such thing as failure for the man who simply never gives up. Most people miss this secret. Consistency is a form of self-respect. When you keep your word to yourself, when you finish what you start and return to your routines without complaint, you prove to your subconscious mind that you are worthy of success. Each small victory builds confidence, and over time, you begin to see yourself as the kind of person who wins, not because you are gifted, but because you are relentless. This internal certainty is the foundation of true self-esteem. Confidence does not come from talent or praise. It is earned day by day in the private moments when you do the work nobody else will do. The greatest danger is not in aiming too high and missing, but in aiming too low and hitting. When you make consistency your master, you are not merely moving toward a goal, you are raising the ceiling of what is possible in your life. Every day you persist, you become more powerful, more skilled, more resilient. The man who outlasts the opposition becomes the only one left to claim the prize. The man who outworks his old self becomes unrecognizable in a year, a decade, a lifetime. This is how empires are built, not on the shifting sands of inspiration, but on the granite foundation of consistent effort. Measure your progress, but do not become a slave to the scoreboard. The results will come, often all at once, when you least expect them. The only metric that matters in the trenches is this: did you keep your promise today? Did you push through resistance, show up, move the needle? Progress is a lagging indicator of your daily discipline. Trust the process. Do not abandon your standards in pursuit of faster outcomes. There is no shortcut to mastery, and no reward for those who stop at the first sign of boredom or difficulty. Consistency is the ultimate equalizer. The world will hand opportunities to the rich, the connected, the talented, but time gives everyone the same 24 hours. You cannot buy more hours, but you can multiply their value by investing them wisely. 10 minutes of focused, repeated action each day is more valuable than 10 hours of scattered effort once a month. The man who persists is the man who wins, because eventually all opposition yields to his resolve. Do not confuse movement with progress. There is no virtue in busyness, no glory in activity for its own sake. Consistency without direction is a treadmill to nowhere. Set your aim, define your priorities, and measure everything against your central mission. The man who tries to please everyone pleases no one, least of all himself. The man who chooses his path and walks it every day, even if the world laughs, is the man who changes the world. If you stumble, if you fall, if you find yourself drifting from your standards, do not despair. The path to mastery is not a straight line. It is a spiral, winding ever upward, with setbacks, stalls, and reversals that test your commitment. Every time you return to your work, every time you forgive yourself and recommit, you are strengthening your resolve. Success is not given, it is earned in the act of returning again and again, until the habit of persistence becomes stronger than the habit of quitting. Let others seek approval, chase applause, and gather followers. You become the man who honors his word in private, who finishes what he starts, who lets his results speak for themselves. Your reputation will grow in the shadows until the world can no longer ignore what you have built. There is nothing more powerful than the quiet certainty of a man who knows he will outlast every obstacle. When your actions align with your purpose, when your days become an unbroken chain of disciplined effort, you will become unstoppable. Look back over your life. Where did your progress stall? Where did your dreams die? It was not a lack of talent or intelligence. It was inconsistency, the slow decay of forgotten commitments. You must forgive yourself for the past, but you must never repeat the same mistake. Decide today that you will become the man who is known for relentless execution, for outlasting the odds, for finishing what you start. This is not about being the fastest or the flashiest. It is about being the last man standing. Every champion was once a beginner who refused to quit. Every legacy began with one small step, repeated until it became a march, a charge, an army of progress that could not be stopped. Your greatness will not come from what you do once or what you do when you feel like it, but from what you do every single day, especially when you would rather do anything else. Embrace the monotony. Find dignity in the discipline, and let consistency become your shield against failure. When the world asks how you achieve so much, let your answer be simple. I kept going. When perfection was impossible, I acted anyway. When boredom threatened, I showed up regardless. When failure knocked, I opened the door and went back to work. You do not need more talent, more luck, or more time. You need the courage to keep your promises, to push through resistance, and to let consistency build the future you desire. This is the law. The universe bends to the man who refuses to break. Make this your code. Write it in your heart, live it in your days, and you will become the rarest of all men, the one who is impossible to stop.